Tuesday, July 10th. We have a couple stocks on watch. We have DFBG. It's been a recent runner lately. A lot of gap up, some fades, gap up, and showed some bullish patterns. They came out with news today. We gapped up. We're up in this area here, about 650. It definitely has resistance on the top of this candle, which is 690. So that's definitely a point to watch. I have an alert here if it goes over. If it goes over 690, next potential is over 840s. So this having a high short interest with a new catalyst this morning of a partnership. Differential Brands Inc., Robert Graham signs tailored clothing partnership. So that's well-timed news for sure, especially if they want to keep the value of this stock up. They didn't want it to drop, so they throw out news on this day and hope to get continuation and make these resistance levels support. So this one will definitely be on watch. I'm not sure how high it'll get. Watch it long and short. Staff is kind of giving it up, but yesterday it was a 300% runner. Topped out at about 560. Pulled back, trapped some shorts, squeezed them up to 620. Both, squeezed up a little bit this morning. So, I mean, at the end here, it was at 546, so they got squeezed a point pre-market. Now there's a lot of people dumping. It's too early to say what'll happen. I have some crucial levels here. If it gets under 450, it should really drop. It's pulling back a little bit more than I'd like to. It's at 460 all the way from the high of 630. Ideally, I'd like to see some buying pressure and it to come back up and retest this $6 mark, and that's where I would look to enter with a loose stop above the high, maybe around like 650, and the profit target on that would be initially 450 and then back down to this $3 mark. So staff on watch, DFBG on watch for Monday, July 9th. Okay guys, quick update. We have BLIN making a pre-market squeeze. This is on watch because every other previous day that it's gapped up, it has a huge wick. Any green day just gives it all back by the end of the day. I haven't yet looked at the 5-minute charts. We'll see what time of day it potentially gives it up, but you see this has a bunch of big wicks. If it doesn't give it up that day, it gives it up the next. Almost every single time it ends in a red candle. So not only is it potentially spiking, but it's going to close lower than the gap. Big red candle. And I use gray candles, not red. So anyway, huge wick. We're at this price level right here at 327. So I'm going to be watching it at this 350 level for a potential entry. I might get squeezed out in the beginning, and then I'll watch it. Hopefully it gets up to this 445. I have an alert set over 4. I also have an alert set under 3. If it goes under 3, I'm probably going to take it short. So give me 1 second. We'll pull up the 5-minute chart on this for May 4th. Okay guys, so looking back at BLIN, on May 4th they came out with news saying that they're going to be at a conference. So the news wasn't that significant, but it did spike from 2 to 350 and it gave it right back. It hit a high around somewhere in between 935 and 940. So it's known to give it back pretty quickly. So we'll keep an eye on that for short as well. Staff has pulled back all the way down to this support level at 450. I'd really like to see it get bullish up to 550, maybe take a starter, and then again over 6, maybe double or triple the position. If it goes below 5 here, it's not that great of an entry for shorts. So hopefully the bulls will take over. It'll squeeze up, like I said, and we'll get an entry up here around 6. So we have staff, BLIN, and then DFBG. I'm still going to be watching it short. it has news. It's kind of fading away pretty low below the VWAP, but keep that on watch also. Currently 9 a.m. Okay guys, about less than a minute to the bell here. We have BLIN. Definitely looking to short this. It looks pretty weak. Trying to get at least $1. I might wait for some confirmation, let it get below 280 instead of just jumping into it out of the gate. This is known to give it up pretty quickly. Also watching staff. DFBG is kind of pulled back already, so I'll be watching that as well. So about 30 seconds to the bell. I'm going to pause the video. Once I enter some positions, I'll let you know. I'm actually already short on DFBG from last night, so that I'm down 30 on to start the day, but my focus is on staff and BLIN right now. Okay guys, I'm currently short 250 shares of BLIN and also short 250 shares of staff. So we'll see here, short BLIN, short staff. Might cover BLIN for now, might take a partial on staff. I'll resume it once trading continues. Alright guys, I've taken some profits on staff. I'm only holding 100 shares, currently up $126. I also averaged into BLIN up here at the VWAP, so I'm currently holding 500 shares at close to break even. So if this gets over VWAP, I'm going to have to cover it. BLIN had a bullish candle here, possible reversal, so I took some out at 406 and waited a little bit, took some at 409 also, still holding 100 shares, up $20, and I'll resume it once some other things happen. Kind of just waiting for both of these to break down. So currently we have BLN trying to break out, we have staff trying to break down, so both of them on high watch. I'm hoping BLN does not break VWAP. I really want to see it get crushed here. Same thing with staff. I added back into staff right now, holding 350 shares of staff and 500 shares of BLIN. I'm going to pause it. Alright guys, so staff is continuing to break down, which is great. Gonna let it run as far as I can. I don't really see it rebounding later in the day. Gonna try to hold these to 350 or to $3.50. Trying to have as much patience as possible here. I'm in at 414. It's holding 4. As long as it holds beneath 4, just kind of going to be in the driver's seat and see how far it'll go. I'll wait for some confirmations. BLIN, on the other hand, is just consolidating. It's known to fade off, so we'll watch that. Currently down on that position. I'm not going to average in anymore. Pretty satisfied with my average. I didn't see that it was going to come up and retest the high a day. If I have to cut it, I'll cut it, and then I can add back on the retest if I get confirmation. So neither of these stocks really gave us any good entries unless you were trading in the pre-market. So pause the video for now. It's 9:50 currently, as you can see here. In these two, they're just kind of trading sideways. Hopefully staff continues to fall and I can lock in some profits. I hope it stays underneath 4. It's really playing with that $4 support level. don't have the best average. I can't afford to have it come back and retest these highs. Oh boy. I'm going to pause the video for now. Alright, so I'm back. As my Windows shut down on me, BLIN squeezed me, so that wasn't good. I'm still holding the position short. I covered some and then I added back in at the top. So here you can see it might start to pull back on me. My average is 315, so I'm kind of just right at break even right now. Still in staff, still in DFBG as well. Okay, so right now BLIN is trying to break out on the 1 minute. It does have room on the daily. Volume's coming in, but it's not quite as high. This candle is about to close green. Hopefully we get more of a wick on top so that it's actually forming a lower high. We'll see if it forms a lower high from here. I don't want to see this surge up. Shorts are going to get squeezed. Yep. Now we definitely don't want to see this get over the high of day at 340. It's probably going to retest it. Hopefully shorts can hold it together. I know anybody trading the stock knows the history of the stock and knows that it's probably going to finish red today, but the bulls are in control until they don't want to be in the position anymore, and then the shorts are going to take over. So we'll see how bullish they are. We're getting some topping wicks. I want to see some bearish candles now, and then it's going to go, should go all the way back home, all the way down. So I'll keep it on watch. I'll be watching the time and sales at level 2. It looks like it is trying to form a lower high, so that would be a good confirmation to short. Although it does still have support on the moving averages. But on the daily it has huge resistance at 350 here. So if you do get in here, you can have a loose stop around 360, 365, and your profit target's going to be all the way back down, way down in this area, maybe around $2. So I'm hoping to get about $1 per share out of this position. If it fails, I'll keep you guys posted. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, it looks like BLN squeezed out, double topped here at 345. It's looking pretty bearish. Depends how low this will go. If it cracks this 20, then you know, it should go all the way back home. I covered here at 345. So we'll see. I'm hoping this goes down towards should get down towards 278 fairly quickly. I think it's going to finish the day green. This was a decent entry, but we'll see how it plays out. Right now it's 10:20. I'm going to pause the video. We'll see if the bulls continue to buy this. It's catching some support here off the 20. And it obviously has room on the daily if it gets over 350. It's having trouble getting over this 350. And last time it topped at 350, it sold all the way off to $2. So I would expect the same exact move today if it doesn't get above 350. So we'll have to watch here and see what happens. Okay guys, BLIN's testing that 350. We'll see what happens here. Like I said, if it doesn't get over this 350, expect it to finish closer towards 2, but it seems pretty bullish at the moment. This is a point where if I was long, I would definitely be taking profits. That causes a lot of selling. Plus, if you're a shorter, you know this is a pretty critical point. You could size in here massively with a stop just above 350. So it really depends if the sellers are going to sell or if they're going to hold and buy more and try to push it higher. So it's kind of a battle here between the bulls and the bears. We'll see who comes out on top. There's not as high volume as I thought there would be. But the 350 level is definitely a price point where it's being respected. So if it gets over 350, it's gonna go, and it's gonna go to close to 450, and that's what the bulls are looking for. They're gonna look for that squeeze where it just goes crazy. So here they're pushing it. The sellers are piling in at 350. Anybody that's short is going to cover over 350. They're going to know that they need to get out because there's not much resistance overhead. Notice the candles up here are starting to get more wicks. So if you guys want to learn how to read level 2, you'll see my P&L right here. Got this here. Okay, so here we have the market maker ID, which is the broker, basically. Here we have the bid, price, and the quantity, the size of the order. So this goes in hundreds. So this is 600, 100, and you can see the different levels. You can see the market depth. So you can see some bigger size orders getting put out, but then they're also just getting eaten right up. Here's 1,000 shares. Here's 1,100. We're at 41 by 342. So this is the ask price is 43, 45. Sellers coming in 43. 2,000. They're getting bought up. So then it's going to go to 44, 45, 48. Now watch what happens at 50. There's going to be a lot of action at that $50 price point. I don't know if you saw it for a second, but there was like at least a 30,000 share order go through at 350. So he might get bought up, and if he gets bought up, it's going to snap. So right here, he just got bought up quickly. So now it's going. Shorts are going to give it a couple minutes to see what happens, and then they're going to start covering and they're going to squeeze out. So it depends if the bulls can stay over 350 or if the bears are going to reclaim that 350. And this is basically a fake out, breakout, bull trap, and it'll come back down. It looks pretty bullish to me. You see buying coming through. People are eating away these orders. The bid hasn't gotten over 350 yet. Hasn't been able to hold that level. So there are still sellers piling in at this 350. knocking the bid down, just knocking it down, knocking it down, knocking it down. And as they knock it down, they reclaim 350 over here. So it's definitely a battle at 350. It looks like the bears are gonna hold it down, but we'll see. Yeah, you have to get in the minds of both sellers. What do you think? If you were long this position, what do you think? Think you might be selling most of your position here, just based on the daily. Then you're also hoping for the home run that gets up to 450, and then maybe squeezes even further out back here to up to 7, up to 17. So there they go. The bulls took over 355. And it's still just kind of a battle here. Pretty good volume. Not as much as this push here. So the volume is getting a little lighter, which isn't the best if you're going long. You kind of want to see a lot more volume come in, but I guess the volume is relatively steady for how much action we have. So it's a confirmed breakout, but it's not really getting the squeeze that you'd like to see after popping over 350. If it got over 350, you'd want to immediately see it just squeeze. So it's kind of a heavy stock right now. It has a lot of shares being traded. So there's the squeeze. Now it might go parabolic. It might start to get halted. Now it should be good to go. So now as a shorter, you don't really know where the resistance level would be. But I'm going to pause it and just keep watching this. So it climbed up to about 375, and then maybe somebody with a huge position just decided to cash in, sell their order. So this is a really big bearish candle. You'd want to see if it tests 375 again. If not, you could watch for a pivot. But this is probably going to cause one of those panic sell-offs. This might actually end the day with an all-time high here at 375. So like I said, this stock should be going back down to $2, maybe $2.50 today. So an entry around here would be good. You'd have a good profit to loss ratio. But as you can see, shorts are going to pile in. This 350 mark that they were fighting over here got cracked through here. It came up and tested it, and now it became resistance. Support became resistance. The same thing's going to happen over here. This was respected a little bit. It might tap here. It's also tapped here a few times at the $3 mark. So you know, if anybody was long here, they're probably going to want to get out. Shorts see this opportunity and want to get in. It might come back up here again to 350, maybe even 360, 65, and then it should just go down after that, but we'll wait and see. It's 10:38. Alright guys, so BLIN is starting to curl up, possibly retesting this this area right here around 340, 330, 340. We'll see if that breaks or if it holds. The other stock, staff, is just giving it up. It's breaking through all Support levels, not really getting any volume. This should just continue to fade throughout the day. I don't see this making a comeback. It's given up about half the move. Next support is at 3, so you have another 50-cent window here, and it might chop around a little bit in here, but for the most part I think you're going to see it come back up, retest this, and hopefully this support level will turn into resistance, kind of like BLN is doing right here. It's testing this level to see, and then after this level it's going to go right back up to this level. So it is still showing that it's a little bullish. I don't think it's going to get all the way back up to 375. There's a pivot area up here at 360. I'd be surprised if it gets up there. But for now it is showing that it's slightly bullish. Until it gets over here, it's not really going to be a long play in my opinion. And then if it does end up getting over the high a day, then that's where it's going to go parabolic. So we'll keep an eye on it. Right now it's 11:30. Okay, so I'm still currently short BLIN. I'll pop this up here for you. Trying to get this down towards 250. It would be really nice to get 50 cents a share on this. We've been hovering at 280. Let's see here, the 260 level on this candle has been holding. This 269. So right now, as you can see, we're trying to break that 269. If it comes back up here, I'm hoping it comes up to test the $3 mark, because if it does, I'm going to double my position. But obviously if it continues to fade down and set new lows, I'm not going to be upset.
Guys, I'll just interject here. EPZM, this looks like it's trying to crawl back. Had a couple of good days trying to crawl back.
Currently up 230 on this. Realized 500 already. I had some other losing trades, but I really want to walk this last portion out as far as I can. So I'll resume it. I think I'm going to get to add back over 3, but if I do, I'm going to be giving away most of this unrealized profit in chances that I can double up on this. When it gets back down to this price, it would then be $440 in profit. So we'll see. I'm going to pause the video for now. Right now it's 2:37. We're coming up on power hour. So we'll see if this holds up and squeezes, or if it just gets slammed down. Alright guys, so it's coming up to the end of the day. It's 3:42 right now. Currently holding a bunch of shares short of BLIN. Let's see, 1,400 shares short with a 260 average. Currently up $200. Realized profits $773. Been staring at the computer for a little bit too long today. Gonna be closing out some of this position here shortly, depending on where this thing wants to bottom out. Probably gonna take a little bit here before it springs back. Trying to be as patient as possible and just really let this go all the way back down to where it came from. I really wanted to have a 6-figure day. I mean, that would be nice. I really wanted to have a 4-figure day after, the morning. So we'll see what happens. Looks like it's getting a little bit of a rebound here. pretty good resistance at that 250 level. Might end up reshorting here. I'm not going to let the trade go against me. My average is 260. I'm going to start locking in some more. I really don't feel like giving back all this profit. So there we are, locked in everything for the day. And it's just not giving it up yet. 15 minutes left. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to pause the video. Alright guys, so the bell's about to be finished. I covered the last bit out here. So let me walk you through my day. It was pretty intense. Obviously, you know, I got squeezed in the beginning. So here you can see my earlier P&L. This one squeezed me. The buying power went below 13.3 and account got closed. So I was obviously really confident in this setup. I knew that BLIN was gonna close red. Obviously it was up here. I didn't think it was gonna get above 350, so this is where I got squeezed. I got into the position too early. I wasn't patient enough. I sized in too heavily too quickly instead of waiting for the confirmation. Look how beautiful this fade was all day. You know, if you got your entry in, you let it peak out, let it drop, come back and retest. If you missed that entry, it did come back up for another retest. But this is a big move. This is from 360 down. This is a 50-cent move of a $3.50 stock. So it came up and retested a couple times, but after this, I mean, it never really came back up. So my first P&L was really bad. I was really confident in this setup. I refunded the account as it was peaking. It was before this confirmation, or maybe it was after this stick. Then I ended up getting in. So the first account, I funded it with a discount code, so it was really, you know, a $400 account. So I did end up losing that, and I lost what I refunded the account with $500 today. This was my first P&L, and here's my second. So made some good money on BLIN. Kind of should have been more patient. I was taking huge position size because I was up for the day. Well, actually down, revenge trading, and then I wanted to close it. I wanted to have a 4-figure day for once. So all my positions are closed. Big lesson learned today. And you know, luckily I'll be back tomorrow. Alright, take it easy guys.